keep California cowgirls from vanishing.
Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator.
Sadie practices over the haunches with an ATV mechanical cow simulator.
Pulling slack. And Susie's coming my way because she feels the pressure behind her horns. Here's a 3-minute introduction of what we're going to do in this show. We're going to do some underhand roping, not overhand, underhand, in case we're under some branches. We're going to have our horses approaching the ATV roping machine, coming to the head, coming to the side. We're going to try to rope from those angles. Remember, this is ranch roping. It's not always just running after the cow in an arena. So here we go. This is Semi. I'm going to approach her. Katie's approaching her. Watch her eyeballs. See, she's not sure about this thing. Now, I'm going to stop here, and Katie's going to come around and approach as if you were trying to rope. Okay, can you just come back around? Let's say, you know, we're out in the pasture, and okay, you want to rope from this side. You go towards it. Okay, let her smell it, let her investigate. Remember, this is an obstacle at first. She doesn't know that this is a roping machine. Okay, now I'm going to back up ever so slightly. You can step back. Trying not to jackknife, which I am jackknifing. Okay, so I don't want to argue with this. I'm just going to take it out here. This is all good for Sam. See if I can get a good turn here. Are you following?
Yep.
Good. Okay. So that's, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go up and down this driveway. If we stay on the rocks, on the DRG, as long as it hasn't rained very, very recently, we should have plenty of traction. So I'm going to ask my cameraman to stop the camera until I go down the driveway where I have an easy place to turn around. We're just going to be raiding with Semi and finish up back here. One more last moment. We went around. Some more raiding practice. Come on over there, see if she'll come towards it. Approach from every angle. That's what ranch roping is all about. That's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl.
Sonia on Eve practices throwing some underhand loops from various angles to the roping horns.
Today, a few minutes of roping practice because I want to be able to practice underhand loops. When I do it on my dry steer, I miss much more often than in my overhand loop. I also want to practice the whoa with Eve. I want a light whoa. Good. Whoa. I have the double reins on if I have to grab them, but remember, when I've got coils, loops, reins in my hand, sometimes it's hard. to grab the double reins, which helps me to get that vertical flexion. I don't have my spurs on today. I don't intend to do any quick work that requires quick lateral work, lateral flexion. I will stop and put them on if I need to. It's a quiet winter day in Santa Cruz, very warm. We don't have a camera operator today, so we're just going to focus the camera on where the ATV is. And Katie, who's doubling as camera operator and ATV driver, is going to walk over to the ATV and start moving it very slowly in big circles and big ovals. And I'm going to just play it by ear with Eve, approach the roping horns mostly from the side, maybe from the front, maybe from the back, but mostly from the side. Because from my experience of actually roping my zebus who have humps, the hump gets in the way unless I'm on the side and have a loop just the right size to go around the neck and be able to pull slack. I have a lot of practicing to do to get that done. And this is just a few minutes showing you what practice means when you're trying to teach a Morgan horse to be a rope horse, when you're trying to practice roping with a mechanical training device, and when you're doing roping from the point of view of being a ranch roper, which is from any angle. Okay, I'm going to walk over to the ATV, and so is Katie. We're going to leave the camera on, but focus it on where the ATV is. Let me pull slack, back her up, back, back, good. Okay, can you lift it up? Backer. Go to the camera. I'm going to explain what all happened here. Oop, oop. Oop. Well, okay, the fact that Eve just went by the camera and I had to turn her back just goes to show you that she still gets into that right brain stressed mode. Even though I wasn't swinging my loop, Eve very much wants to understand with patterns what she's supposed to be doing. So the more we practice this, the better she's going to get. I stopped after 3 loops because I did one from the left, one from the right, and can't remember where the third one was from, but in 2 of them I know I pulled slack, which means I had to get her to back for me, and I had to be ready to undo the dally. So because this isn't a machine that's going to go with me on pulling slack like a cow will. If you pull slack and they're movable, they'll move with you because they'll feel the pressure on their neck or behind their horns.
Sonia on Sadie roping the ATV horns.
Very briefly, because she lost a shoe a couple days ago, left front, a little bit chipped on the edges, and my trimmer's coming out tomorrow morning to put the shoe back on. But I have been practicing underhand roping every day, like a few every morning, few every evening, and I really feel I need the skill. And I like the challenge of the skill with on horseback. And I want each of my Morgans to become ranch versatile horses, so I keep desensitizing them to my ATV, which Ashley is going to ride today, here on the smooth surface, sanded driveway. And I'm going to ask Ashley to take certain paths, and I'm going to approach from various angles with Sadie and practice my underhand roping, which requires quite a large loop. I find when I'm underhand roping on a dry steer that my position to the steer is critical. A lot of times when I try to put myself in a position for an overhand loop and then try an underhand loop, I don't get both horns. I'll get at most one horn and what we call half a head. So I'm trying to understand underhand roping because I never really did it when I was younger, but I've seen it done, and I know it's a useful skill to have for ranch roping. Okay, so Ashley, you start going around. I'm going to let Sadie see it. Make big circles. You see what happens is, yeah, you're going to jackknife if you try to back up. I'm going to move forward, and my cameraman, we don't have mics today, but my cameraman is going to quietly, smoothly try to follow. And that's good. You can leave the camera there, and as Ashley goes by. I don't want to get Sadie all riled up just then. I don't want to pull hard. So I didn't try to even throw a loop in. I'm going to pick and choose those moments, but I want the object to be moving. Keep going. See, her head's in the way. Okay, keep going. See what happened here? Her head was constantly in the way, and you know what? You can stop. I don't get to practice that when I'm working with a dry steer. So this is great practice for me. I only got one horn, but I'm actually grateful I did. You want to take it off? Maybe I can't flip it. I've got to somehow make Sadie understand without getting real hard on her mouth, or put myself in a position where her head is not in the way. And I'm not quite sure how to do that yet. I'm learning as I go here. I'm showing you what I'm learning and what decisions I have to make, how I'm practicing. I've got my roping reins on. They're kind of short, which is essential so I don't get the reins all hung up in the lariat. Yet, because they're so short, I feel like I'm always hanging on her mouth, which I don't want to do. So again, my big loop, and my last throw, my big loop did get caught under my spur, which I have on only for a lateral cueing. Okay, so now I'm doing that trick of putting the loop under my arm, and go ahead and do that. If you can go a little slower, that would be good. But big circles or ovals. So I can choose the best place to try and see if I can figure out how to get Sadie's head out of the way. You want to take it off? Okay, good. My cameraman's going to move forward. I hope you don't get dizzy with the camera, but it's the best we can do today. I did get two horns. But, and you probably didn't see it, but I'm going to tattle on myself. I had to let go of a coil in order to reach as far as I needed to reach. And you know what? I didn't realize it until I looked down, but I had let go of my rein too, which is, with a seasoned rope horse, no big deal. They kind of know what the pattern is and what you want from them. But, you know, it's not a good idea to let go of your rein inadvertently. So I'm going to pick it up again now, and this time I'm pleased with the throw. I'm pleased with Sadie's reaction. First I'm going to form my loop before I pick up the rein. Sadie's reaction to me asking her to move her head out of the way and to get close to this clanking mechanical roping cow. So far so good. Now when Sadie gets really stressed, what she does is she kind of lifts her front end. I'm not seeing that happen yet. I don't want to do this so long that I get her really stressed. I want this to be a good experience for both her and me. Another thing that she tends to try to do, and you might have already seen it in the session, when this rope goes across her nose, she tries to bite it. And that's not good. But we will eradicate that bad habit with repetition. And she's the youngest of my three, Morgan, so I'm not surprised by that habit. Okay, this time, if you could turn around and go the other direction. You were going clockwise. Now somehow go counterclockwise. Drop my coil, my loop. Okay, that wasn't a legal catch. That's all right, I got it. But it gave me an opportunity to throw the loop while I'm on Sadie's back to make her realize that that maneuver is not going to be harmful to her. And I didn't drop my rein this time. So I feel that that was a productive step in the right direction. Now I'm forming my loop again, trying to stay off of Sadie's mouth and yet holding on to this short roping rein, checking my coils, my tail, putting my loop under my arm.
You're caught under her buckle.
And now I'm hung up. You see, this is the hardest sport of all that I've tried over my decades of experience. There is so much to think about, including managing this lariat and not getting it hung up in things. Okay, let's try again, Ashley, in counterclockwise direction. I'm just picking and choosing what I think is the best time to try it. That was a perfect throw. Now I'm going to try something that I haven't tried yet. I'm asking Sadie to back up. I'm going to put my rope around my horn, that's Dally. But if I have to undo it quickly, I know how to do it. It's almost a skill. I want her to feel what it's like. Look over here. To feel tautness in the rope. Back. Back. Very quietly. Okay, so the loop is getting tighter around the horns. I'd like my cameraman to show that. There you go. It's making that tight sound that a lariat will make when it's getting taut. She's okay. Look at her ears, though. She sure is listening to me. She wants to do this right. I'm going to back up one more time. Hopefully that's not too many times. Whoa. And she tried to bite it, and I make that sound. They kind of know that that's not the right answer. I'm going to let go of my Dally, and then I'm going to ask Ashley to remove the loop from the two horns. Then, because one usually wants to form a loop again to do the next cow, or the next throw, I'm going to let Sadie know that I still want her to stand, but you know I'm really finishing up this session because
I feel that it was very productive. I wanted it to be short. And even though this is a sanded driveway, there are some rocks coming up through from the driveway rock. So I don't want to tax the rim of her left front until she gets that shoe back on. And I'm happy to say Sadie was a good ranch rope horse, learning ranch rope horse, and I feel that my skill in underhand throwing is getting better. Thanks for watching. Underhand roping the ATV horns with Semi.
I'm with Semi today. She's going to help me practice my underhand loops on roping the ATV horns like we did with Sadie and E. We don't have a camera operator today, but we're going to leave the camera on the biggest part of this circular path that we have in our driveway. Well, I decided, because Semi was behaving, I decided to go ahead and try the moving target. And I did get 2 horns. I guess my skill is improving. No, wait a sec. What we're going to do, Katie was going to remove it for me, but you know, besides just catching, your rope horse has to allow you to dally. And so I'm very carefully dallying around my horn, asking for Sam to back, undo the dally. If there's any resistance, I want a little bit of tautness. I did this with Sadie and she was fine on it. Semi is showing some stress, biting on her bit. She's not quite sure about this. I'm going to ask for another small step back if I can get it. Good, a little bit more. I'm just tightening that dally. Whoa, good. Now I've got a taut rope. Semi standing good for me. Undo the dally and now you can take it off. Okay, so, you know, I try to do things from every angle. This time go in the other direction. I did it from the left side of the horns. Let's see if I can do it this time from the right side of the horn. Now let's just stand for a moment. I want Semi to wait for me to tell her what I want. A ranch horse has to, especially when it comes to cow work, has to be willing to think and do on their own, but they also have to be willing to be told by their rider what to do, because what you have to do might change at any time in trying to do something. And we're talking about doing practical things like roping a cow to vet them or worm them or whatever. So at some point I may want Sam to think about putting me in position. At another point I may say, no, I don't want you to think, I want you to just listen to me and listen to what I'm asking you to do. Get my loop ready. Make sure her head isn't in my way. Whoa! Through my loop, and lo and behold, another 2-horn catch. That's making me feel real confident. Now hold on for a minute. I'll drop my coils if I have to, because you know you don't want your horse hung up in this lariat. I got to get her front end over, so I'm looking over. I'm asking with a neck rein, little bit of right leg pressure. Whoa, opening the door on the left. Okay, now I feel I'm in position to dally around the horn. Whoa. Okay, she started to back up more than I wanted. This is all patterns and learning that we have to teach her. Dally up again. Now I was wondering if, whoa. She started to try to bite the lariat. She stepped over the rope. These are all good things to show you, because these are the kind of things that happen when you're roping. I'm going to put her, keeping the rope in my left hand, I'll drop it if I have to, put her back in the position, looking over on my left. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, my horses have all been desensitized to ropes. Nope, nope, whoa. Ooh, nice. See if I can get it over her head. I can. Put the reins back in my hand. Dally. And back. Good. Whoa. Whoa. A little bit of nervousness. I dropped the coils because I don't want her to get hung up in them. That could be a wreck. Okay, why don't you hand me the coils again? We're not going to stop until we get a relaxed right answer. Here, whoa. 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 Sitting on my pockets, a little bit slouchy. I do have my dally. I haven't tightened yet. She's looking away from the rope. She's thinking, if I just look away, that's the way I perceive this, it will go away, but it's not gonna. I'm gonna ask her, loosen my dally for a minute with a slight tug on my right rein. It's just a slight outward tug, not backward. She's not responding. Visual block on the left. Whoa, good. Now I'm getting her to look. Dally up again. I am trying to make sure I get really nifty on dallying and undallying. Again, she's not looking. Whoa. Whoa. Good. I got tautness for just a few seconds and it made that sound, which was what I wanted her to experience. But you know, I do things in small steps. So I feel that we've gotten enough right answers today to call a close to this session with Semi. And there will be future shows about roping, because not only do we want to rope on a curve like this, we want to rope on the run and come at the horns from various angles, just like you would to a humped cow.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Semi, Rusty and Susie, Heifer Calf Sela. For more information, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.